So I have been HIV positive for 27 years now. My partner, Tony, had died of AIDS in '92. I had kind of already lived through a lot of the kind of what at the time was called the AIDS crisis, you know, what was going on, people were dying and that kind of stuff. And, you know, I'd been in the clubs when, you know, we saw people, regulars in the clubs and bars, becoming very thin and looking very skeletal, and people with KS and stuff like that. So it was a very frightening time. I was quite adamant that I didn't want to get it because I'd seen what it did to people, and it was killing people at the time. And so I was actually, you know, practicing safe sex. I went home with somebody, drunken evening, and ended up having non-consensual, unprotected sex, where I woke up in the morning and I knew something had happened. I could feel there was something in my body. And back in the day, you know, we didn't have PEP, well, they didn't release it to the public. They did have it. One of my partners was a nurse, and they did have it for him, but it wasn't available. And so I waited, and I knew that the period for seroconversion was about 11 days to 18 days or whatever, and I think it was about day 11 or something like that when I suddenly got this flu and everything, and I was like, okay, this is it. And so then I waited another week, and then I went to the clinic and I told them what happened and did my tests, and it came back positive. It really felt like a death sentence. It was kind of like, well, that's it. You know, the people I loved have died, my friends have died. It's probably going to be me. Just think, oh, I'm going to die anyway, so I'm just going to go crazy and just have a blast and just do drugs and drink and go wild and have sex with everybody because I'm going to die in a short period of time. And I remember at the time, because it was 1996, with the diagnosis and that whole time of like thinking or believing that I wouldn't get to the millennium. You know what I mean? It's like, for those people of my generation, you know, we grew up with all this talk about getting to the year 2000 and the millennium and how amazing everything was going to be and change. And I just thought, oh my God, I might not even see the millennium. And then I was like, right, I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna stop doing drugs. I'm gonna stop drinking, going out. I'm gonna see if I live healthily, maybe I'll make it to the millennium. So, you know, that was something in my life that HIV really changed. But then a kind of strange thing happened is that, you know, after the millennium, there was a weird psychological thing about feeling I was on borrowed time then, because it's kind of like I didn't think I was going to be there. But also when the medication worked and I did survive, there was that kind of what they call survivor's guilt. For all the people I'd lost, all the friends and lovers and you know, my partner Tony that I lost, that they didn't make it, you know. Two people, you know, Tony was the love of my life, and he died in '92, and around the same time a lover I'd had previously, he died around '92 as well. And then I got diagnosed in '96, and it was like those 4 years meant the difference between those people dying and me surviving. And that was a strange thing about it as well, but it worked both ways, because I think, you know, with Tony dying and me surviving, there was that part of wanting to live again. It's like, well, if he can't live, I'll do it for both of us. You know what I mean? I'll live for both of us.